everybody, how are you guys doing tonight? I'm going to be painting a shabby chic looking seahorse. You can get the template for this on my website at Decor.com if you like to cut out your own shapes, or you can buy the blank cutouts from me on there as well. If you want to be notified when I go live, just shoot me a message after the video is over, and it will automatically subscribe you to be notified whenever I go live, because I'll send out a little message a few minutes before. It looks like several of you guys got my message because there's a bunch of people hopping on at the really quickly. Hello, Megan. Happy Wednesday. Yes, happy Wednesday. I am really glad that it's Wednesday because it's just, I don't know, I needed a breather, and I don't have parties on Wednesdays. We go to church on Wednesdays. Hi, Sarah. How are you? I hope I get to see you on Saturday. Hello, Jessica. Before we get started, I'm really excited to show you guys this. Check out how cute he is. This is going to be the adorable little reindeer in a stocking that we're going to be painting for our live paint party on in November. So if you want to sign up for that, go to my website, and there's a link at the top that says Live Paint Party, and it tells you all about it. I mail you the cute little cutout, and it's already got the shapes drawn on there. It's pretty much paint by number, and I teach you step by step in a live video in the group for how to do it. I don't know if the light's so bright. I got a new light, in case you can't tell. My lighting's a lot better. But I got little gold polka dots up here on his antlers, and some cute little green polka dots down here. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Teresa. Hey, girls. And we're going to be painting this in our live paint party group in November, so don't miss it. Join us. The link is on my website, Decor.com. And you can only sign up between now and Halloween, October 31st. After October 31st, it'll be cut off because I'll have to get these things cut out and shipped to you guys. So you'll be getting some happy mail. All right, so let's get started. We're going to be painting this really cute little shabby chic seahorse, and it's going to be kind of beachy colored. So these are the colors you need to make a beachy look. I went ahead and painted it all white. You don't really have to do this first, but it does kind of cut out a step. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Lisa. Okay. Hey, Melissa. Okay, so the colors I'm using, whoop, hang on, I'm knocking paint bottles in the floor. I'm getting so overly excited here. These are the colors we're going to be using. Key West, Tuscan Teal, and Granite Gray. And I buy all matte acrylic paint at Walmart. They're the apple barrel paints. So those are the colors you're going to need, and then just plain white. Hello, Jane. Say hi to me as you come in here, and tell me where you're from if you're new. Let's see. If you're picky and kind of worried about, getting really straight lines, which you shouldn't be because this is shabby chic, you can take a ruler and draw your lines out straight. That way you've got them all drawn out. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to freehand this to show you that it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to make it look kind of shabby. So let's start with the darkest color, the Tuscan Teal. Hello, Mitzi. Hi, Candace. And I've got my handy dandy little egg carton. As you can see, I've been using it quite a bit today. I've got almost all 18 slots filled up. Hey, Tiffany from North Carolina. Okay, so I'm going to get this Tuscan Teal, and the brush I'm using is 3/4 of an inch wide. It's a flat brush. And I'm just going to pick a spot like up here near the top of the head, and I'm going to start my first stripe. And as you can see, I didn't really try to make that perfectly straight because we're going for the shabby chic look. I am going to go ahead and fill this perfect, like all the way in with the Tuscan Teal, so that you get a nice firm line. And then we're going to make it look shabby in a moment. Then I'm going to skip a little further down. I'm going to imagine that next I've got a teal, a gray, and a white stripe. So the next turquoise stripe I'm going to put like right here along the jaw. And like I said, if you're kind of worried about, spacing of your stripes, you can draw them out ahead of time. I just prefer to freehand it. And see how that line's not perfect? Let me get it up close so you can see. See, I didn't get that line just perfect. It doesn't really matter because we're going to make it really, really shabby. Hi, Dana. Okay, that's 2. We're going to do about 4 of these stripes. Let me do another one. Let's see. Leaving room. Let's go down to about here and do another one. I love this Tuscan Teal color. It's a nice deep, like ocean turquoise color. the kind of color you can only see if you like go to the Bahamas or somewhere really nice and tropical. Okay, so we've got 3 stripes there, and these stripes are a little over, or about an inch wide, thereabouts. They don't have to be perfectly the right size. Okay, and then the next one is just gonna kind of go down here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them up and I'll go back later and answer them. Did I use the apple barrel? Yes, I did use matte apple barrel white to cover this first, and I only did 1 coat. It just kind of saves a step because we are gonna have a white stripe in there. So by going ahead and painting it all white, it just kind of cuts out a step. So I've got all of those stripes painted. They're not perfect, but they don't have to be. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush. And dry it off on my paper towel. And then, let's see, the next color is the Key West. This is a really nice light turquoise color. It's one of my favorites. It's also the color I use when I do mason jars. And I've got enough on my brush here. I'm going right underneath this turquoise line and doing a stripe of the Key West. You might be thinking, why is she painting a beachy looking seahorse in October, in fall? Well, that's because somebody ordered it as a gift for somebody, so I'm doing whatever I'm asked to do. Okay, so we've got a stripe of that Key West. Let's see, she says, oh, I lost that question. I'll go back and answer it here in a little while. I didn't get to see your question, it disappeared. Okay, so then I'm gonna go right under the next stripe and do another stripe of this Tuscan tea, or not the Tuscan, sorry, the Key West. Getting my names mixed up. There we go. Hello, Robin. I'll show you how we're going to make them look shabby here in a few minutes after we get 3 of the other 3 colors. We've already got the white on here, but after we get the gray, the turquoise, and the light turquoise, we're gonna go back and make them look shabby. Okay, we've got our 3rd stripe on there. Hi Katie, says, do I use a CNC machine to cut my door hangers? Some of my door hangers are cut with a CNC. This one was cut with a jigsaw. The CNC is great for cutting out like monograms and things that are kind of intricate and difficult to cut out, but I know a lot of crafters and people who do door hangers get really excited and think they need a CNC machine. You really don't. For the first 2 years that I worked my business, I did not use a CNC machine. I just used my jigsaw. The CNC machine is cool and it can do a lot of intricate stuff that maybe I couldn't do with a jigsaw, or that would be difficult with a jigsaw or even a scroll saw. But to be honest, it's slow. That's why I don't like the CNC machine compared to like using my jigsaw. I can cut out about 50 door hangers with a jigsaw in the time I can cut out maybe 10 with a CNC machine. So I mean, it's just infinitely faster to use a jigsaw for me. Because for the CNC machine, I have to cut my wood down to about 20 or 30 inches squared to be able to fit it on my machine first. So that's another step. Plus you have to clamp it down, you have to design something on your computer, then you have to pull it up, then you have to run it through the machine. It's just a long step process. Whereas this, I trace the template on the wood and cut it out with the jigsaw and sand it. It's a lot faster. You said you do all of your door hangers with a jigsaw and your husband's convinced you need a CNC. It is a fun toy, I will admit that. And, you know, I can see why your husband might be wanting one because they are fun. But I'm just going to say this, they're not necessary. And really, I mean, they're not necessary to do a door hanger business, but they really are kind of cool and they let you kind of do some stuff that you couldn't do before. But if you're looking to buy one because you think it'll be easier or it'll save you time, it's not going to be easier and it's not going to save you time. Putting the CNC machine together was not easy. I didn't do it, but my husband and my dad did it. And it took them about 3 or 4 days just to put the thing together. So it is very tedious to put together, and there's quite a learning curve to using it. If you're not very familiar with vector graphics and SVG files and things like that, then you might have a little bit of trouble learning how to create your own cut files to cut your own door hangers. So, okay. Now, this gray stripe is leaving way too much white here. I don't know if my light's too bright for you guys to see that, but I've got the gray here, and so then there would be a white stripe next. That white stripe's a little wider than I want it to be, so I'm just gonna make this next gray stripe just a wee bit wider. And then I'm gonna go back with the turquoise in a few minutes and make that turquoise stripe just a wee bit wider so that that white stripe's not quite as big. Hi, Jessica. You're from Kentucky too. Hey. Use a jigsaw to cut out your door hangers. Awesome. A jigsaw is kind of scary if you've never used one before, but I promise you they're not as hard as they seem. It's just a little intimidating if you're not familiar with power tools. But take it in baby steps. It was the first saw I ever learned to use, and my dad taught me how to use it. And so I've been doing it ever since. It's just one of those things, you just got to get the feel for it. You know, after you do it a few times, you kind of feel like, I'm getting the hang of this. And it's not as hard. Okay, now I'm just putting this granite gray on here and doing stripes. Got another stripe of the granite gray. I don't know how well you guys are able to see that when it's laying flat. It looks kind of bright, like white, so that maybe you can't see it. That's why I keep picking it up and showing you. What do you use to clean your brushes between colors? Jane, I just use plain old water. I'm sure there's probably something I could buy to use, or maybe something somebody else could recommend to me, but I'm kind of lazy like that. I've always just used a cup of water. Never anything fancy. But one of the girls in my biz group that I'm running did give us the advice of not laying our brushes, not putting our brushes up in a can or a cup after we wash them, but laying them flat to dry. And I hadn't really thought about that before, but I do have a lot of problem with some cracking up here in the handles, and you know, they don't last very long, and that's because I always drop them like this back in my can with the bristles up, and so any excess water is going to drip down in there and ruin the wood of my brush. And I've never even thought about that until she mentioned it. It's hard to cut out a shape with much detail with a jigsaw. Yes, I've gotten better at it the longer I've been doing it, but it is kind of challenging, especially in the beginning. And sometimes now, if it's something with a lot of detail, I go ahead and just use my CNC machine to cut it out. Like a letter or something. Like the other day I had to do a fancy W, like a cursive W. And in the past I would have just done that on the jigsaw. But now I go ahead and use the CNC for it, because every now and then I'll have one break if I'm not careful cutting it out. Okay, let me show you just how messy this is. That way you can kind of see how it doesn't have to be perfect. See, all those lines aren't perfectly straight, but when you stand it up this way, and then it's got all that shabby chic detail that we're fixing to add, you won't notice. But standing it this way, of course you're gonna notice if some of the stripes aren't perfectly straight. Okay, I do need to add some more of the Key West right here, because I didn't notice this little spot where the stripe kind of continues over onto the tail. So let me add that in real quick. And then I'll show you how to make them look shabby chic. This is kind of like a beach cottage kind of look, I guess. Does anybody have a room that's themed like this at home? I know a lot of people do, like an ocean themed bedroom or ocean themed bathroom. Hi, Lisa. You lay them on the dish drying mat. I did do that this afternoon, so maybe that will help if I start doing that. It's just I've got to get out of my bad habits and the old habits that I have of dropping them back in the cup afterwards. Okay, I'm just going back and thickening up that line so that white stripe wasn't quite so wide. Right there. Okay, now for the shabby chic look. I'm going to keep this Tuscan teal color on my brush. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer and kind of show you guys what I'm fixing to do. And then I'm just going to take it and lightly streak across that Key West color. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Let me rinse my brush because I don't want that Tuscan teal all over everything. And it is pretty dominant color. Then I'm going to get the Key West, and I'm going to do the same thing to the white, just a little bit, and then to the teal. And I'm just kind of sharing the colors up and down, like streaking them on top of each other. You don't want to have too much on your brush, just a teensy little bit as you do this. And then I'm going to get just a tiny bit of that Tuscan teal and do it on the gray. And if you ever feel like you get too much, you can take that same color, like the gray or whatever, and go back over it and kind of erase it, you know. Let's see, I was doing just a tad bit up here. Okay, I need a little bit right here. Get just a little bit of that Key West, and then maybe a little bit of the gray. I'm not rinsing my brush between every color. I kind of do after I use some of the Tuscan teal sometimes because it can be kind of bold. Okay, so it's looking pretty shabby now. And the last step, that's okay, Rhonda, you can go back and watch it in a minute if you missed the first part. And at the very beginning of the video, I showed the door hanger we're gonna be painting for November. So don't forget, for the November live paint party group, after the video's over, go back to the beginning of the video and watch it so that you can see what we're gonna be painting in November, because it's super cute and you don't wanna miss it. Okay, now, get your Dollar Tree brush that is super cruddy and like nasty, and that's what you're gonna use to do the final distressing technique. And just get you a paper plate and do like a little snake line of white paint. You probably can't see that because it's white, but I've just got like a little snake line of white paint. I'm gonna dip my Shabby brush in there. Just get just a little bit. That's probably a little too much. If you get too much, just dab it off. And then I'm gonna streak in the same direction on top of all these colors. And this will add the final Shabby look. This is also the same technique I do when I'm trying to get that faux barnwood look, if you've seen those videos. I've done those in the past. You can go back and find those in the video section on my page. Okay, I think that's probably enough. So there you have it. We've got a really shabby chic looking Seahorse. And it would be really cute, like if you put a monogram on it or something like that. Or this would even be cute on a really big like burlap wreath. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you need to buy the blank door hanger, you can get it on my website at southern-adoornmentsdecor.com. You can also go in there to sign up for the live paint party. And don't forget, sign up ends October 31st. And if you want to see what we're going to paint, play this video back from the very beginning. And at the very beginning, I showed you guys what we're going to be painting. Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that. And thank you guys to those of you who shared this video. I really appreciate it. That helps bring new people to my page and helps me grow. And I just love you guys. Thank you, Krista. You never get finished that quickly. Well, I've already done one of these, so I kind of had in my brain exactly how to do it. Sometimes it takes me a little longer the first time because it takes me a minute or two to figure out how I'm gonna do it. But once I've already done it, I can whip it out a lot faster. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you guys hopping on here and spending a few minutes with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday evening. Goodbye. Let's see if I can get this turned off.